Welcome to Sober Living Snippets, the podcast helping people over 40 live alcohol-free so you can improve your relationships, feel youthful again, and finally ditch regret and shame. Hello and welcome to your daily snippet. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you've damaged a relationship because of your drinking, which is actually pretty hard to avoid if we're over drinking. We're going to hurt somebody or insult somebody or irritate somebody, or we're going to do damage, or we're going to disappoint somebody, not show up where we said we would show up. There are, horror stories of the best man actually not being at the wedding, or worse, showing up really drunk. So when we drink and we can't control it, invariably we're hurting others. We know this. And then the question comes often, how can I make it up? What can I do? And my response to that is always the same. Don't try and fix the relationship, just fix yourself. So start with your own problem. We start with ourselves. Making most of the people in our lives have heard us make promises so many times, and there's been so many broken promises and so many mistakes that it's pointless to go and say to them, this time it's different. This time I mean business. This time I got help. This time I'm doing this. Don't even bother. Just do it. What we want to do here is show instead of tell. I know it's hard because we want to, especially if we've gotten help and we're really on the path and we know we're serious and we have the help and we've got we got the plan and we're really gung ho to tell everyone, this is it. You won't believe what I'm doing. I've got the support. It's all lined up. Here's the plan. This is what's going to happen. But what happens is we're really excited and we want them to get excited for us, but they don't believe us. I mean, you can't blame them, right? They're like, oh, here we go again. All right, another one of these. So I just, when clients come to me and they have these types of difficulties, my advice is always don't even mention it. Just do it. Start today by looking after yourself. Find the solution that will work for you. Reach out, get some help, and start your journey to recovery. And that means a lot more than just giving up alcohol, right? There's so much healing to do. When we're drinking, we don't emotionally evolve the way we're supposed to. And we can stop drinking and still not be emotionally sober, which means we're being jerked around by our emotions, we're volatile. Especially in the beginning, we're not much better anyway. And so to say to someone, oh, I'm on this big path to being mended, and then we feel horrible because we're in early recovery. Early recovery is very volatile, right? We just might not feel very good. It doesn't last very long, especially if we've got the proper help and support and we're going through it with others. But it is there. And so to jump the gun and announce to everyone we know, that we're on the mend, just it can also put pressure on us, right? So now we've told everyone, and that just makes us feel pressured. And when we get pressured, what do? We want to drink, right? So don't go posting on social media, I'm never drinking again. Don't do that. We must give them space. We must give them the space, and whatever we do, we must avoid getting upset if they don't have faith in us. They've been hurt. They've been hurt so many times that we have to leave them alone and let them see for themselves. They will eventually come to you and say, wow, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And that's such a beautiful feeling. And it happens. I promise you it happens. Focus on yourself. Reach out and get the support that you need. Find the path to recovery that's going to work for you. And that means not doing it alone. When people in my program, we work together, you're not alone, you're with others. You've got the accountability, which means you've got others reminding you of your dream and why you're there. That's what accountability means. It doesn't mean you're in trouble, or you're being watched, or you got somebody tapping their foot and crossing their arms and staring at you. It means that somebody else, others, understand your dream. They know your struggles because they've gone through it or going through it, and you're highly supported. And then as you start getting well, it will just start to show. I mean, one of the first thing that happens is you look better, you feel better, you're more energetic. And as recovery, and recovery goes, the first few days are hard, right? The first week or so. But very quickly, if we're working at it, and we're properly supported, we very quickly start feeling really good. And of course, we have to be careful because in the beginning there's ups and downs, and we can start feeling so good it can be dangerous. So again, that's another reason to have others on board to remind us, right, that we need to be careful and go slow. But as for the people in our lives, we really, really need to give them the space that they need. And the watchword here, the key words here, the phrase here to remember is show, don't tell. Show them what you're doing instead of telling them, and it will soon be obvious to all. Now, someone who's been badly, badly hurt by us might take longer. And I'm sorry to say it, but some relationships get destroyed and are never, ever fixed. And I hope that hasn't happened to you. Many of us have lost partners, lost spouses. Many people come to me and, their children, their grown children are no longer speaking to them. They're not allowed to see their grandchildren. This is hard stuff. And it's really hard, especially in situations like that, not to, want to say to them, "Hey, I've got a coach now. I'm in a program. I'm really getting well." And I always say no. Just focus on yourself. I know how hard this is, but we've done damage. We've damaged ourselves, and we need to be kind and gentle with ourselves. We need to give ourselves time and the support that we need and deserve. And then the rest, it will come over time. We must be patient. Look, if you've got alcoholism, if you've got alcohol use disorder, whatever you want to call it, then you need to remember that what you have is an illness. It's not a moral failure. It's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're a weak person. It's none of that. That's it. You just need to not drink. And you're in fact, most of the alcoholics I know are highly educated, highly intelligent people who do amazing things in their life as long as they're not drinking. And I'm included. I went from a prostitute to a professor to a successful sobriety coach, all of that while drinking. Not the sobriety coach part. I got sober first. My point is, we can accomplish amazing things even when we are drinking. And so when we quit, man, the world is our oyster. So healing relationships will come. For the most part, people love us, and even if we've done some serious damage and we haven't been able to see our children or our grandchildren, those relationships get healed as well. They just can take longer. So we must be patient and just stay focused on ourselves. We need a lot of tenderness, a lot of tender, loving care. We need to be, and the most important person that we need to be kind to is ourselves, because we just get so hard on ourselves. I did this, I did that, and it feels like it's our fault. The only part of it that's our fault is when we don't do something about it. That's our fault. When we're aware that there's a problem and we choose to continue drinking, or we choose not to get help. In my opinion, trying to do it alone and not getting the help you need is as bad as just drinking, because you're being stubborn and you're stubbornly saying, "I can do this, leave me alone," and then you're just a grumpy, dry drunk who eventually drinks again. And if you don't, everybody in your life wishes you would. Oh, they're not drinking, but they're impossible to get along with. So if you're doing that, then you are to blame. But you're not to blame for the issue in the first place. It just is what it is. The causes are many and varied, and there's researchers can't even agree on this. Is it hereditary? Is it this? Is it caused by an episode? At the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Why doesn't matter. The question is, okay, accept that you have it and make the decision to get the help you need, because otherwise you are intentionally hurting yourself and those you love. And that's a fact. By refusing to get the help you need, you are hurting yourself and others. So reach out, have a chat with me, or go get the help wherever you feel like you want to get it, but get some support and start this process, and the relationships that you are concerned about will be mended. I promise you. Sending you tons of love as always, and are you ready for your daily do? Daily do. It's daily do time. I've been really hard on you lately, and I recognize that. I've been asking you to do really tough stuff. Luckily, the weekend's coming if you're following along with me and not watching on replays or listening on replays. But anyway, so I'm going to be a little bit easier on you today, and I'm just going to ask you to make sure today that you're moving the body. So if you're not exercising at all, I want you to take a 10-minute walk today. If you are exercising today, that's great, or regularly, that's great. Just make sure today you do whatever it is you do to exercise the body. I want your daily do for today is make sure you move your body for at least 15 minutes. And a walk is amazing. Just go take a quiet walk by yourself and give some thought to your life and your drinking and what you're going to do about it. So today's do is move your body for 15 minutes in whatever way you want to. Move the body. Get up, get out, and move it. It's very important. That's your snippet, and that's your do, and that's me for today. Bye for now. See you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.